Good afternoon, y'all. Welcome back to Papa Prepper. Tommy here. Hope y'all are having a blessed Tuesday. Beautiful sunny day here in southern Indiana. I'm feeling more blessed by the day. So after, my videos to y'all, my live stream about changing up the channel a bit, I've had several different suggestions and requests for content, and I love it. I absolutely love it. The first one I'm going to go with is today, because I had 4 separate requests to do this, and that's the emergency fishing kit. Now, when making one of these, you're going to want to keep in mind that this is just that, for an emergency. This isn't by no means prepping all the fishing gear you're going to need, because just this little bit of fishing line and couple hooks, and things that would go into it, it's inevitable. You're going to get hung up, you're going to get snagged, you're going to break your line. A fish could break your line, turtles, just depending on, where you're fishing at, what region, a lot of things are going to happen. So, like me, I'm 6'4", okay? And typically, your wingspan, that's how tall you are. All right, your arm span, whatever you want to say. So I'm going to do, typically I would do 10, okay? So that'll give me roughly 63 to 64 feet. And that's plenty, just for emergency fishing, because, you're going to have to be throwing this out by hand, pulling it in by hand, getting bait and everything that far out. 60 feet, that's a pretty good distance on a cast. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you a couple little extra things that I'm going to bring to you guys and show you how to do. That's totally doable on almost any budget, and if you have the room in your preps for it, will make your life a lot easier when it comes to the fishing thing. But let's get this thing started. Alright guys, so what I'm going to be using to make the first one here, well, the only one that I'm going to make on camera, but you can also use a pill bottle. Actually, pill bottles are, in my opinion, a little better, because you can take plumber's tape and put around the threads of the pill bottle and then put the lid on, and that dude is, I wouldn't 100% guarantee no water's going to get in there, but for the most part, it's going to be pretty dang near waterproof. Now this here, you guys know I use the nicotine pouches. They come in all different flavors. That's why this is blue, because it was wintergreen. Just like a regular old chew can, most anybody probably knows somebody that chews. Or, you can go to convenience store, gas station, get a roll of bubble tape, or the beef jerky comes in cans just like this. Something like that, to make one of these with. So you can see you don't have a whole lot of room in there, but you can fit, enough stuff. And like I said, this is emergency fishing. A lot of folks, and if you want to get down to it, you can stick you some fire starter. You can, stick razor blade in here just so you have it. Different little things. But most likely, if you're bugging out, you're going to have your fire starter, stuff like that, in your bug out bag, or, that's not for this. Not this video. This is just basic necessities to catch you some food. So like I said, got my fishing line here, and what I'm going to use is 15-pound test, because that'll, for the most part, handle anything you're going to be pulling in right off the bank, whether it be small little panfish like bluegill, crappie, decent sized bass, stuff like that, all the way up to, if you're wanting a big meal, you decide you're going to go catfishing, this is going to handle most stuff you're going to catch right off the bank, okay? Cut this here. All right. So like I said, and you can just hold it, or if you can stick something through there and that'll spin freely, makes it a little easier, but or you can just put your finger in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And tomorrow we'll work on our ABCs. All right. Excuse me. Now, what else something else you're going to need, or what I'm using, just regular old Scotch tape. Go ahead and get you a little, I don't know, 2.5, 3-inch piece. Cut off there and just stick that to something. You're going to need it here in a few minutes. Then just take about 3 fingers, like so, hold the line, then just wrap it. Like I said, for my height, this is about 63 to 64 feet, which is plenty of line just to, do some off the bank fishing. Which in emergency, that's really all you're pretty much going to have the option to do. Alright, we're almost there. Oop, and don't let go of your string. Okay. Now, get it off your fingers and don't let go where you was holding it before to start your spool. And you can see I got a little bit off there. Got some little stragglers, but that's all right. Then what you want to do, take that piece of Scotch tape, put it where you started. And just run it through the middle of that, right back onto itself. And there you go. There's your fishing line. So it fits in there really nicely. Alright, so the fishing line is done. Then what you're going to want to do is I would suggest you have a couple of these, okay? Couple different sizes. This is a very large. This is called a swivel. Okay. These are mainly, they can keep your line from tangling up and getting stuck in weeds and whatnot underwater. And also, they're made to attach what's called snails. Okay, not the slimy little nasty things, but these here. And this is what I would recommend. I mean, you can get loose hooks if you want, but the upside of using a snail is, say you've been pan fishing and you want to try to go for some catfish maybe or something like that. Just unsnap that. This hook on the end of the line, it's already ready to go. They come pre-made like this. You just snap that dude on there, close it back, you're ready to go fishing. Okay, without having to cut the line, retie a hook, and blah, blah, blah. Just that simple, all right? And I'll probably be making a few videos to go along with this. Sorry I keep getting so close. I'm not used to filming like this. But I'll probably make a few videos to go along with this, like you know, different ways to tie your hook, you know, different rigs, you know, like catfish rigs, panfish, and actually these packs here have a couple different ones here. You got a slip rig, you know, how to put the big egg sinker on there and it you know, moves freely. And then you got a floating rig. You know, I'd like to do a video covering some stuff like that for you guys as well. But anyway, that is a swivel, and you can stick a couple. They come in all different sizes, but this is a pretty big, hefty one, and that will, you know, work just as well with the little panfish, you know, whatever, up to the catfish, or, you know, it depends on where you're at. You know, up in the northern, you know, if you got pike and stuff like that, you know, really good sized fish. You don't want a little swivel on there because it'll just break it. It'll pull it apart, bend. I mean, it'll be a mess. But what I'm gonna do, now you don't have to do this, is I'm gonna take another piece of tape and just simply lay that on there and kind of just fold the tape over, okay? And when you get to where you're going, the Scotch tape's not that hard to get off, okay? It's not like you're gonna have a big nasty sticky mess. But what that's gonna do is that's gonna keep that from rattling around in there and sounding like a rock in this can if you're trying to be stealthy or sneaky. You know, you want everything to, especially in an emergency situation, to remain as quiet as possible, all right? All right, next thing. I've got these here. These are sinkers, okay? Get them out where you guys can see them here. And they, again, just like, you know, the swivels and the line come in all different sizes, okay? Now these dudes here, these are called egg sinkers. Or where I'm from, they're called egg sinkers, I guess. But this is a little different of a rig that you need to do, and I'm gonna do another video to show you some different rigs. But this goes through your line, and this is made to just, you know, basically goes, it doesn't limit your bait, how far your bait, you know, can float around or whatever. It's just made to keep it to where it's stationary. You know, in one spot, this goes to the bottom of the lake or the bottom of the creek, and then it lets your bait kind of move around, float around, you know, that kind of thing. And I know most of y'all probably know how to fish. Some folks might not, okay? So, and this is for everybody. And then you got these little hooks, these little sinkers. And I would recommend making sure when you buy yours that you get the split shot that's got the little fins on the back. Sorry, let me get that to focus there. That way you have something to squeeze to get that to open up. Because some of them don't have these, and those are a bear to use, especially in an emergency. It's ideal to make sure you have in your preps and your fishing stuff, whatever, at least a little pair of pliers. If not, I'm a hillbilly. You can use your teeth to open and close these. I don't recommend it. I mean, it is lead, but you can use your teeth to get these to open and use your teeth to clamp it back down on the line. But again, like a lot of everything, you know, goes with fishing, they come in all different sizes. Just, you know, decent little variety of sinkers here. So I'm gonna kind of divide these up. I'll get 2 of these bigger ones, 2 of these smaller ones, and that'll probably, like I said, this is just for emergency. You know, like you snap your line and stuff, you're gonna lose these more than likely. So this isn't all you're gonna need to survive being a fisherman or, you know, relying on fish as a source of food. This is just, you're on the run, you know, and you see a good body of water, looks like you're gonna be able to, you know, score some food. Well, that's what this is for. And then again, I'm gonna take me a little piece of tape. You know, you don't have to use a lot. Take them, just lay them on there. No rhyme, no reason, no order. Just lay them on there. And when you got big sausage fingers, this gets kind of hard. And then just take the tape, fold it back over on top of itself. And there again, that's going to quieten that down a lot. Because, I mean, And that's a good jar to get that noise. But if those little dudes were all individually just laying in there, it's going to sound like you're running with a pair of maracas in your pocket, all right? And you don't want that. So there's that. Now the hooks, like I said, you can get the loose hooks. You know, you can get a variety pack. It's got like 4 to 6 different sizes. But what I'm packing in mine is, let me show you here. And just like everything else about fishing, everything has several sizes, okay? And because there's different size fish. I mean, you know, naturally. So let me get one of these dudes out of here. And honestly, guys, I could sit and talk fishing with you all day. Techniques and tricks and, you know, stuff like that. Okay. So like I said, everything comes in its own size, or different sizes. This here is a size 8. Okay? And these are made by Eagle Claw. You can get expensive hooks, like crazy expensive, but you know, these work. This is all I use. And it's on a snail. It's ready to go, just attached to one of those swivels I showed you. And the bigger the number size, the smaller the hook. Okay. Now, number 6, or I'm sorry, this is number 8. A number 8, this is what you would use for like bluegill, crappie, you know, little guys like that, depending on what region you're in. You know, I don't know all the fish everywhere, but we have like a little perch, stuff like that. That's what you would use this for, okay? And make sure when you buy your hooks, see how that looks bent? Hold on, guys, try and get it to focus here. Anyway, I think you can tell. See how that looks bent? No matter the brand of hooks you buy, make sure it's offset like this, okay? A lot of hooks are just like a J shape with a barb on the end. Make sure that your hooks are offset. And what that does is when that fish hits it and you pull that line, that's gonna set that hook instantly. As to where just a regular straight J-shaped hook, that'll yank it right out of its mouth, or they can spit it out before you get it set. So make sure you got that little bit of offset like that, all right? So I'm putting one of those size 8s in there. Next, I'm gonna put a size 6 with just a little bit bigger, you know, and this is for like, say you wanna try to maybe score some bass, something with a little more size to it. You know, like I said, depending on where you're at. But again, it's got that offset. Make sure your hooks, man, I wish I would. Anyway, make sure it has that offset little crook in it, okay? And then lastly, I'm gonna put, what'd I do with it? I'm gonna put a size 2 in there, okay? Now this is the size, you know, you decide you're gonna go, like, I want some catfish. I want a good sizable fish for supper. I'm tired of eating these little bitty guys, you know, or even some bass. Crappie can get very large depending on where you're at. Big red ear, you know, you can maybe get one on here, but this is for the big mouth guys, all right? Like largemouth bass, smallmouth bass could still get on there. Mainly I use these for catfish. All right, that's a really good, comfortable size for catfish. Again, make sure you got that offset like that, because the catfish, they will rob you blind. No matter what kind of bait you're using, they will rob you blind and you not even know, okay? So that is a size 2. And then we're gonna do them, guess what? The same way. Get your piece of tape out there. Another thing I love about these snails, they're already, you know, tied together. They're all, you know, you can take these hooks just like this, okay, and just work that line around them right there, just like that. This line is not going to tangle up. It's not going to knot up. But do it just like that right there. Oop. Don't let it slip out of your hand. Okay, see? You got, which looks like a mess, I know, but I promise you that's not going to knot up. Take your tape, stick that line on there. And just wrap her. Ouch. Yep, don't stab your finger. Then when you get that line under control, get you another little piece. Like I said, Scotch tape will come apart so easy. Don't stress. Don't be like, oh, that's going to be a mess. Nope, it won't. I promise. And then, just put you another piece around that end. Sorry. Just to kind of secure those together. And because you don't want it, you know, getting into this other line yard, because that will get, you know, could become a knotted up, tangled mess real easy. So you got that all secure. Stick that in there, like so. So we got our 3 different size hooks. I've got about 64 feet of line in there. I've got 4 different size sinkers, and I've got 1 swivel in there big enough to handle about anything you're gonna catch bank fishing, unless you happen to just catch a monster turtle. You know what I'm saying? So there is that. And you've still got a little extra room in there. You know, if you want to put some fire starter, things like that in there. Another idea, I'm not going to go through all that again, but a pill bottle. And if you happen to have the pill bottles like we do here, excuse me, and it's still kind of wet where I washed it, but it's actually got really nice threaded lid. And what you can do is take plumber's tape. If you don't know what that is, Walmart, Home Depot, anybody back in maintenance or home repair or whatever, they can get you rolled. It's anywhere from like 60 cents to $1. But anyway, you take that, it's Teflon, or not Teflon, what's it called? Yeah, Teflon tape, right? I can't remember. Anyway, you put it around this, and you can put your lid on there. And like I said, I wouldn't exactly guarantee, but for the most part, it's going to be waterproof, okay? And that can come in handy for not only, you know, your fishing stuff, but you can put matches and anything. A lighter will fit in here, just different things. And along with the fishing supplies, there are little foldable pairs of pliers that could fit in here and still be able to, well, I can show you. I can take the stuff out of the little kit we just made here. We'll go ahead and drop our swivel, our hooks. There's our sinkers. Put your line down in there. Get all that down in there good and snug. And you've still got I don't know if you can see the light coming through there, but you still got a lot of room in there. You can put some fire starter, you know, basically whatever else you think you could, you know, you could put these bigger type sinkers in there. Still have plenty of room. If you're emergency fishing, a lot of the time, like for panfish, you're gonna want a bobber. And these, again, like all other fishing equipment, comes in all different sizes. I mean, they're even smaller than this. You can get sinkers that will, or I'm sorry, bobbers that will fit in this, okay? But like this one here, fits right in there like a charm. No big deal. So personally, if you can get empty pill bottles, and these come even bigger yet, like, I take metformin, which they're big horse pills. So their bottle is about that tall and like that much bigger around. So I mean, you could fit a lot of stuff in there. Then it almost gets to the point of being unpractical, like, you know, where are you going to stick that? Which, I mean, this, you could stick it anywhere. Your glove box, your get home bag, your bug out bag, in the console of your car. I mean, if you wanted, I guess you could keep it in your pocket, your coat pocket, you know, whatever, so you've always got it on you. And that's really all you need to catch some food in an emergency. And of course, some bait, which you're going to have to catch what you can for bait, or try anything small and shiny, anything that'll reflect a little bit of light. Or you can just throw a few pieces of artificial bait in there, you know, shove them down in here. And you can get little bitty artificial baits all the way up to like crawdad and frog size, okay? I mean, any kind of artificial bait's gonna fit right in here, or in one this size. You know, it's, like I said, it is what it is, but I'm telling you, they'll go for live bait first, which if it's winter, and you know, you're gonna have to, that puts a whole new spin on fishing to survive, because then you've got ice, you've got no live bait, most likely, unless you're gonna be able to dig through some frozen ground and find some worms. But I mean, winter fishing is hard, I'm not gonna lie, you know, but just, this is about the best that I can suggest on a little survival kit for fishing. Now, I'm going to do a video on this too, because if you, and this is pretty budget friendly, really, for anybody. If you can get what's called a micro reel, this here is a Shakespeare. It actually, I mean, it's, I think you can get the whole pole, okay, for like 15 bucks. But I think these little reels are like 10 bucks. Okay, now granted, they only have 4-pound test line on them. So you're talking just panfish, bluegill, little crappie, you know, sun perch, little fish like that, little bitty panfish. But you can put up to size 15 line on there, okay? So if you have one of these, and I'm going to make a video showing how. Probably be a couple days, but because I got a lot of stuff going on after today. A little micro reel, say 3 or 4 pop tabs, 4 or 5 of the zip ties, and a good sapling, or a good flexible but solid branch. You can make an awesome little fishing pole in like literally 3-4 minutes, okay? And that's a lot easier than throwing your line out and pulling your line in. Throwing your line, you know, with a little micro reel, a good sapling, some pop tabs, zip lines, or zip cords, you can make a pretty cool little fishing pole. Now, you're not gonna want to just throw that away, so you know, you're going to want to wait to make your fishing pole if you don't have room to just take one with you. You're going to wait until you're somewhere you know you're going to be a while, okay? Because you're not going to carry this long, huge stick with you. Another thing I would suggest, if you have room for it, fishing, is a good pair of fishing gloves. These are Ozark Trails from Walmart. I've had these for 4 or 5 years, and they're still doing great. And these are latex on the palms, and just regular whatever, you know. But what these do, especially if you're new to fishing and you really don't know how to handle fish, they can tear you up, okay? Even just bluegill, you know, whatever, the fin on the back, you know, they can stab you, and I mean, and it hurts, and it'll get irritated, it'll itch you to death. But like, you know, if you have pike, catfish, stuff like pike's got, you know, nasty teeth. Catfish have teeth too, but they all have teeth, but you know what I mean. Catfish can actually put a bite on you. And, you know, their spines that stick out on their side where their fins are at and on their back, they can go through your hand, okay? They will stab you if they get a chance. I'm not saying that these will stop those spines, but it's better than having nothing on your hands. So definitely would get a good pair of fishing gloves. And then these are a gift to people that catfish, or, you know, like, again, like the pike, muskie, you know, whatever that will bite you. These, if you can get the mouth open, you just get down there on that hook and work it around and get it out of there and keep your hands out of the way. These, I think, are like $3 at Walmart. They're hyper tough brand, but you'll want the pair that's hooked on the end like that, so you can really, you know, get in there and work with it. So that's just a couple extra things that if you have room, I would definitely purchase, because fishing is fun. Fishing's great. I love it. But if you're fishing to survive, you're going to make it as easy on yourself as possible. And just having some little tools like that, some decent gloves, you know, that's going to be a game changer. I hope this video answered your guys' questions that requested. I hope you really liked it. Let me know in the comments. Like I said, for all my guys that are fishermen and all my ladies that are fishermen, I guess, I don't know. I know this isn't everything you need to fish. I mean, actually it is. This is what all you need to fish. Okay, but we've gotten spoiled on how we like to fish and what we like to use. So, like I said, this definitely isn't all you would need to prep if you plan on fishing to survive. This is just to keep you alive with food until you get to where you're going. All right. God bless y'all. I love you guys. Thanks for being here. Papa Prepper out.